Action.
It's February 4th on a Sunday. Sunday.
Sunday Fun Day podcast day for M-Balm and Randy.
Talking music and other stuff podcast.
Yeah.
Again.
So, we were kind of discussing what we're going to jump on and talk about or what we would do. So I was like saying, why don't we pull music news up so we've got another big screen TV in front of us that is hooked up to the internet. And that's what we're going to do. We're just going to shoot the shit about what's in the music news, give our comments on it, like them or hate them. And just kind of do that kind of thing. So we've been scrolling a little bit. We were saying, because we just did a take and I didn't have my mic fell off or whatever. It's
hey, this happens.
par for the course.
It is par for the course.
Pantera plays Floods during first show of 24. I said good for them.
You did.
Throwing some new material in the mix. That's always a good thing. You're a big Pantera fan at all?
I can't say I've really dived much to. I listened to them at one point, but not heavily.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, it wasn't my first choice in what I wanted to listen to.
People just tuned out right there.
That's
like, fuck those guys.
Yeah, they're like, you know what?
What the
those guys
fuck?
are assholes.
Right out of the fucking, not even a minute in, dude. Neither one of them likes
You hate
Pantera.
Dimebag?
Not saying we don't like Pantera.
Never said that.
You're right. I got into them a little bit older. They're not something that, it was nothing that I obviously grew up on or whatever. We've had Phil Anselmo here when he went out and did a solo tour with the Illegals, I think it was called or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Great guy. Can't see anything bad about him. He was very friendly to hear, hospitable, went out to the bar, took pictures with people above and beyond the meet and greet that I think he did. So not the impression I would have had when I first was a talent buyer and booked Superjoint Ritual.
Yeah.
Not a good day for him.
Not a good day.
No. This was, years ago. The early 2000s, we brought him to the Penny Arcade. And I'll be brief, but I'll tell, this is what we do. So anyway, this will create some content.
Let's do it.
Sometimes when I have some knowledge or some history with something that we're talking about or a band or whatever, I'll indulge. But so we roll in and, load in starts or whatever. He's nowhere to be seen, and that can be common.
Yeah.
Lead singer, whatever. Hour goes by still. We get set up, probably hour and a half, 2 hours in. The band walks in and they start to sound check. Still, it's like, okay, that can be normal where, a lead singer doesn't sound check. I mean, does he need to? Whatever. In a club setting, does he need to? Whatever. And then about, I'd say a half hour later, after I've dispersed the band's hospitality, sort of, got it all on the bar, talking to the tour manager, and I'm like, so everything's here and everything's in and whatever. He asked for the cash buyout, which is what you give a band for a meal allowance.
Okay.
Like $20 a guy, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm already, and you know me a little bit already, I'm a half full glass half full guy.
Yeah.
So when these things start to happen, and the more that you do this, there's like little mood swings, yellow flags, red flags. And I'm like, well, this is weird. He's not in here, blah, blah, blah. He hasn't come off the bus. I mean, typically you would see the singer come in for something.
Yeah.
Go to the bathroom, take a shit, this, that, whatever.
Something.
So he comes up to me and he's like, yeah, can I get, and I'm like, well, yeah, I got all this other stuff here, and there was lunch meat and rolls and whatever for the crew. Ooh, so the band was like sort of set up and whatnot, but it took them a long time to get in. And anyway, long story short, he wanted like the money for all that stuff. He no longer said, we no longer need it.
Really?
And you know what? Let me back up a minute. I don't know that all the gear was even brought in. So they were starting. And then the other red flag was, I want to say, and you all out there probably will remember better than me, the support band, I want to say was Evanescence, I think, and they weren't there.
Oh.
And this had been like a couple hours. Now, usually, sometimes the support band will be there before the headliner, which is, whatever. So long story short, he was fucked up, like bad. And there was a discussion like, at one point where me and my partner at the time, we were like, so what's going on? Is there going to be a show? I mean, the band's not here. They were trying to get out of the show.
Yeah.
At one point, we sat idle for like an hour. I think phone calls were made. Evanescence, I'm pretty sure, again. They showed up and, we got to... He came through the back door and anybody that was there, leave your comments in the comments below. It was a less than stellar show.
Yeah, that's
he
not
was. That was back in his days, dude, where God knows heroin, whatever.
Anything.
But anyway, now look at where this band is. I mean,
Yeah.
he's back. He's got Pantera. He's got, blah, blah, blah. That's a whole other story of who's in the band and what they're naming the band now and whatever. But anyways, cut to a few years back. He came in, great guy. Set was amazing. There was some Pantera in the set. Liked everything that I heard. The band was, So anyway, moving on. That was my Pantera Phil Anselmo story.
Yeah, I think everybody remembers the time where Dimebag got assassinated, and I think I remember that clearly. It was 2004, I believe, and I'll never forget that. I think that's when I really kind of paid more attention to Pantera, is around that time, because it was controversial. The guy came in with a shotgun and just.
And that was the night after the show So we used to partner with a guy named Tom Quishan. Tom, if you're out there, haven't spoken to him in decades, but and he owned a club, was partners or whatever, part owner in a club up in Buffalo called the Buffalo Icon, or just the Icon or whatever. And they booked Damage Plan. It was the night before Columbus, Ohio, was where he was shot and killed.
I think so. That sounds very familiar.
So I was there during the day for load in and whatever, because I had a friend that was like managing the place, that was somebody that was at Steel Music Hall where I got my start and whatnot. And the band Stem from Buffalo got to open that show. And again, it was either the day before or the day before, and they had an off day in between. But I think it was the night before. So the very last show that he completed was Buffalo, New York.
Jeez,
so there's a little more history for you.
A little bit of history there for Pantera fans.
Anyways, scroll down. I found out my mic wasn't running, we were talking about Sammy Hagar doesn't blame Alex Van Halen for not touring anymore. And I was telling M-Balm that there's some pictures out there on the internet of Wolfie Van Halen's wedding where somebody blew up a photo of like the seated families and up on Alex, and looked like he had oxygen.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they call that, but so he was on oxygen and was holding a cane. So the fact that this reunion or tribute is not happening could very well be because he's not healthy.
Yeah, his health is definitely detrimental to this whole thing.
Which is crazy, man. I mean, Eddie kept doing what Eddie was doing up until a decade or so or more before he passed away. But Alex, I think, quit drinking, quit smoking.
All of it.
Back in like the mid-'90s. But I guess that just, goes to show you, man, what the life on the road and being a rock star, whatever.
It'll catch up to you sometimes.
It'll catch up to you sooner or later.
Yeah.
10 times artists totally rocked the Grammys. Move on.
We'll move on.
Did we touch on the Taylor Swift thing? We did.
We did in the other take, so let's talk about it right now. So again, they're talking about here that time Taylor Swift dressed up as Kiss to prank a country star. Well, Taylor Swift is huge right now. I mean, if you've been keeping your eyes and ears peeled on the NFL, lately, obviously you know that the Chiefs are going back to the Super Bowl to face the 49ers. It's almost like 2020 all over again. But this time Taylor Swift's in the fold. Obviously every time they score a touchdown or one of the team members fart or something like that, the camera views right on to Taylor Swift. So, it's a huge thing. There's haters out there. There's people that love it.
And there's the conspiracy.
And then there's the tinfoil.
This is all set up for her to, at some point, endorse a certain candidate for president, which we were saying.
Yeah.
It's a long road to walk down when this girl has such a social media presence that when and if she wanted to acknowledge who she was voting for, she could just do it there. We wouldn't have to waste all this time fucking hooking up with a football player flying from city to sit in a fucking a box up in and all that nonsense.
So you're going to spend a whole football season all year long, and you're going to get to the Super Bowl and say the Chiefs win it, right? Say they win the whole thing, and then hey, by the way, here she comes, and now she's endorsing said
this is what record label and management and PR people do for a person that they want to jolt their career.
Yeah.
A girl that just grossed in the $1 billion and change or more.
Yeah.
I don't think she needs a push to be in front of any camera at this point
She
or
does
on
not
any
need it.
news feed. So, that's kind of garbage.
Does
so
not need
anyway,
the elevation. No, that's a little crazy to me.
Did you, by the way, like last night was kind of something, I don't know if it's making this music news last night, a bunch of stars came out, probably was New York or Jersey for John Bon Jovi.
Oh, okay.
That was pretty cool. Bunch of people performed his music. People that were odd, it was like Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
Did like Living on a Prayer or something like that. And
Jelly Roll's on a roll.
yeah,
No pun
he's
intended.
another guy.
This guy, I mean, he spent time in prison, right?
Yep.
And now he's turning his life around. Everything, just this guy is pretty down to earth from what I've seen.
And this is a guy, again, a lot of some of these stories can be connected to the Montage and myself, and not to say other promoters in the area, but I had Jelly Roll like booked and confirmed twice, never came to fruition. Here.
Yeah.
But that's what happens. I mean, again, you and I have talked about when myself and other promoters in the area. When we first got started, we booked bands that are playing arenas now. I mean,
Yeah.
I did Avenged Sevenfold in a 300-seat fucking club and Shinedown and anyway.
Heavy hitters.
And then it got to a point where, the agent he was with at the time, I had another offer in, and this was just probably like, a year or so before COVID, before he had started to hit that, went off the runway. And that was just, I think, right where he was just getting some juice. And it just was like, yeah, this guy. And, this stuff happens in this business. It happened with me with Five Finger Death Punch, where, there were offers for Water Street at the time where they were a band that was just climbing and they were getting a little too big for this room, had an offer in. I know the one time we were a week away from the play date at Water Street and Evan, I think his name is, the lead singer?
I think so.
Got laryngitis, so that got canceled. Yeah. Had another offer in, that got canceled. My buddy ended up doing them out in Syracuse at like K-Rock's radio event in the summer.
Oh, yeah.
And that went okay, but they're another band that, they start out in the clubs, man, and before you know it, they're, headlining arenas.
Big time arenas.
Yeah, but good for Jelly Roll. I mean, you know.
I like to see that. It's a feel good story because he came from where he came from, and he's just climbing that whole mountain.
Well, and he crossed over. I mean, a lot of like when we started to get offers, and where he was at when I was being offered him, he was more in the Juggalo world. Had a Juggalo fan base, and then it was Juggalo rap, and there's a lot of that. I mean, there's a big crossover in those two worlds. And then when he just dipped into country, man. And had that big hit. That was his niche, man.
Yeah.
Just jumping into that country arena was it.
It was it.
What else we got? Talking Heads reportedly turned down $80 million to see now that.
Talking Heads. Wow, that's the first time I've heard of that.
I don't know that I believe that story.
Do you know the band Sleep Token?
Yes.
So there's a huge thing that happened recently. I guess somebody out there had, because they kept their identities very, very low. They didn't say who they were. There's like all that stuff. My wife follows them, so I've listened to their music. They're pretty decent. And somebody out there somehow, some way, got a hold of their birth certificates to find out their true identities. I think that's kind of fucking nuts. I mean, what do you think of that? That's kind of crazy, right? These guys.
Kinda.
These
I'm
guys
smirking because I got another.
Oh, you got another one.
Another story. I don't know. This is what we'll do.
I love it.
So years ago, when I was in radio, so this was before I was doing what I'm doing now, we did the Family Values Tour. We, meaning I was with the Nerve. So me and E-Man, we were at a lot of the shows at the Blue Cross Arena. Yeah. We would go there during the day, cover sound check. E-Man would do interviews and whatnot with a lot of the bands. We would usually pack up before doors open. We would be done. But during that day, I was there with my boss, if you will. We were sort of, marketing director and assistant marketing director or whatever, but we both did the same job and would cover for each other, blah, 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 blah. So back in the day, early in Slipknot's career, because Slipknot was the headliner. It was Slipknot, Linkin Park, Papa Roach, and again, y'all were there. Cold, I want to say?
Cold, yeah.
So it was Cold, Cold, Papa Roach, Linkin Park, Slipknot. I think that was the order.
It's a classic lineup.
I know, so I think back then, though, the band was like Kiss, where no one had seen them without their masks. And I think it was kind of like no one was really allowed to grab a photo of these guys without them.
Yeah.
That was their mystique, So we were backstage, I was in and out of the hallway back there and whatnot. And this guy that I worked with, Orist, just passed away a couple of years ago, was my mentor in radio. Gave me my start, wouldn't be here, what I'm doing now if it wasn't for him. Anyway, his job was like to capture thing, and he always had a camera with him.
Yeah.
So he was, so a week later he comes in and, I go in his office every day and we just would shoot the shit. And he's like, there's pictures from the other show from the other night or whatever. And, I'm flipping through and I get, and like, I'm not, and I remember seeing these guys sit, being seated with E-Man. One guy's in a cowboy hat, another tall guy and whatever. And I'm not so familiar with all the guys in Cold.
Yeah.
Other than the singer or whatever. So anyway, I didn't really know who it was that he was interviewing.
Yeah.
So I start looking through the pictures and, and I'm seeing faces and whatever. And then I don't remember. And I was like, I just said to him, I'm like, who's this? He's like, that's Slipknot. I'm like, dude, you got pictures of these guys. You can't, I don't know that you could put these anywhere.
Right.
But I mean, it was before like now where there was a Facebook and whatever where you could really put anything. But he would upload all of this stuff to the radio station's website.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I don't know. He's, well, I'm like, I don't think anybody's seen all these guys. I'm like, we may want to ask about this, And I was like, talk to E-Man, because I don't, But anyway, that's my little Slipknot story of, a little backstage thing that was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, I didn't know who the hell they were.
Right.
Yeah.
It's some bands are like that. You have that.
Well, I can tell you, I used to get all of the Hammer magazine and this magazine and that magazine. I never saw a picture of those guys without their shit on. So it kind of seemed like you weren't supposed to really do that. So,
Hollywood Undead, I think, was the same way.
Yeah, who?
Hollywood Undead.
Oh, really?
I think at one point they were like all masks.
Oh.
Now I don't think any of them wear masks anymore.
Yeah.
It's like Kane in the WWF back in the day. Everybody's like, oh, what's he look like underneath that mask? Well, now we know. I mean, years later, but yeah, that mystique. That's it's kind of like part of their gig.
Yeah.
Here's another story about Ozzy. He's, I guess, something about his condo for rent. Ozzy Osbourne, man, this guy's been through the ringer how many times? I mean,
yeah.
He's got Sabbath and all that.
He's got a podcast out now. He looks great. I think he's coherent. He talks better than he ever
he's on the mend.
did with his family. Yeah, I mean, he looks good. The other thing in the music news about Ozzy is he just is dying. Well, that's a bad way to put it, but he just wants to get one more performance.
Yeah.
He just wants to be on stage for one more show. I mean, he's definitely stable enough to sit in a chair and do a podcast.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Is it going to be
Too much
one of those
fun.
situations where it's Phil Collins where, he's sitting down during a performance? But,
Yeah, that's kinda, yeah.
I hope it happens for him because, the guy deserves.
He's earned it.
Yeah. I mean, he had so many tours in the works, so many tours ready to start, and something else would happen to him.
Yeah.
So,
thing after the
Ozzy,
next.
if you're watching this, no way in hell.
You never know, but hey.
Well, I hope that you get your wish, dude. Somebody will get you up there somehow with a fucking walker.
We are fucking rooting for you, Ozzy.
Yeah.
Falling in reverse.
Yeah, Ace
Ronnie
Bailey,
Radke.
new video. Ace has got a bunch of new people around him.
Ace, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all these videos, and he's out there in the public eye a lot more right now. And Steve Brown, this guy that was in Trickster, we had him here. He was a super nice guy.
Oh, shit.
He produced his new album, and I think he's been very integral in getting, a fresh face on Ace.
Yeah.
A fresh sound, obviously, on the new album. And, you can see it, that Ace is doing interviews and, doing music videos and stuff that he hasn't done for years. So, God bless that somebody's kind of teamed up with him
Yeah.
and really given him an outlet to kind of do things in a bigger and better way. And I haven't heard the new album, but I heard it's like one of the best he's done in production-wise.
Production-wise.
So, Steve Brown, kudos, bro.
And sometimes when you're a music artist and you want to go a different route, these albums come out as a different sounding album than prior years. Some people will criticize it, some people will love it, but at the end of the day, as a music artist, you have to grow and evolve. And I think this is one of those things that, hey, this is for them.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of artists these days don't see worth in like even going in a recording studio and recording an album and putting it out because nobody's really buying music anymore. It's all streamed, and I don't think the monetary value is there for the artist. But, it does create some new content. A lot of guys like Ace and a lot of bands from that era people want to see the hits when they come out. So even if they go in and record 10 or 12 new tracks,
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear them. They want to hear Shock Me and the Kiss songs and whatever. So it's like, what is the worth for them to even spend what amount of money it is to do that?
To go in the studio.
Yeah. Again, no one really cares about the new album that you're putting out. They don't really want to hear it live. So I guess it's just some way to boost, I'm going to go out on tour again.
Yeah.
But I'm not really going to play this new album, maybe one song.
Just one song, but everything else is the old songs.
Yeah. Nikki Sixx scores legal victory. Oh, stalker. Yeah, whatever.
Well,
Who cares?
There's a lot of, I think they all have stalkers.
Bruce Dickinson, Iron Maiden, he's got a brand new band. He's going to go out on a solo tour. This isn't about that, but anyway, favorite storytellers in rock, whatever.
Yeah. Universal Music Group, I guess, is pulling music off of TikTok. Now, this is going to be a big controversy for some of you TikTokers out there because you depend on some of this music to create your content. And that means that, well, you're going to have to, find other ways to get your music.
Well, look, I think there's going to be a shakeup with a lot of these platforms. I mean, all of these guys were in front of Congress, this last week. Zuckerberg, the Twitter guy, the Instagram dude,
Musk.
the TikTok broad. I mean, these guys are all just being, I watched a little of this, and again, you and I have talked. I don't watch news or whatever. I do a lot of YouTube.
Yeah, me too.
And all I want to see is a little snippet of what's going on because everybody's so goddamn angry. Everybody's after this and after that or whatever. But I watch some of this stuff for a second or two, and I just don't understand why people have to be so damn angry.
I know.
These people are like out and out rude.
Yes.
Look, I get it. Some of these platforms aren't good for kids. Kids are committing suicide, this, that, and the other. Well, look, I'm a parent.
Yeah, me too.
Well, you're a parent. I mean, you're nowhere near where,
No,
God knows by the time your daughter or son gets to be of age where whatever this is, if it's even around at that point.
It might be something crazy.
You've got to police it to an extent, and you hope that your kids talk to you about the problems and things that happen or whatever. But, I think that if you can try to keep them off some of the social media as much as possible, it's probably better for their mindset and everything else. But, there's no need to be rude to these guys. They're if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, you can talk to them in a calm manner about it and find out what they're doing and just what you don't like that they're doing and what you can prove is doing harm. Then we fucking make them change it.
Thank you.
We watched network television. Me growing up as a kid, I mean, there wasn't swearing or adult content, and you couldn't say this and you couldn't say that, and that it is what it is. I mean, I like to watch stuff that is unfiltered as much as what we're doing now. That's great. And the minute that you and I did something that somebody says is doing something harmful to somebody, I don't have a problem being called out on it. And and then there's two roads we go down. We either defend ourselves because we don't think we're doing something that's harmful, or we say, you know what, you're right, and we own it, and so give them a chance to own it.
Agreed.
Anyway,
accountability is huge.
Yeah.
Hold yourself accountable. Hold people accountable around you. I think
do the right thing.
Just be responsible for your actions.
And I mean, I'm not defending anything that they're doing, but I don't know when these companies, in the conception of some of these companies, I don't think they knew what all of this was and how many people it was going to entertain.
Yeah.
So, then it became hard to babysit. And it becomes hard to figure out everybody that's doing bad under, that you just, you know what I mean? I got to feel that in some ways they're doing the best they can.
Yeah.
It's like you as a parent. We don't know what the frick our kids are doing when they leave the house and go outside. So it's like everybody now that's got experience in hacking this or doing that or whatever. I mean, they could be doing things to these platforms that, they didn't know were going to arise, and they're playing constant catch up.
Yeah.
So again, bring them in. Y'all work together to say, look, if there's something that we can do to keep pornography or nudity or whatever the hell they were yapping about, because I watch it for a second or two and I tune out, then we've got to fix it. And
we should.
So, have a conversation, not a freaking yelling match at somebody.
Nobody needs to be yelling at each
Yeah,
other. It's just, you get nowhere.
Yeah.
You run in circles.
Yep. Well, and that's just the thing. I mean, when you antagonize somebody like that, he gets up and he leaves, and he's just kind of like, instead of somebody saying something to you nicely and can we work on this together, you've then angered somebody, made them look foolish.
Yeah.
And then, you know, he walks out of there with a fucking attitude, and that's where you got.
You got nothing.
Not here, there.
There.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but sometimes you have to sit down, not only communicate, but also understand. Otherwise, without the understanding, the communication's fucking pointless.
Yep. And yelling at somebody does nothing.
No,
I've heard
it doesn't.
many a conversation about that whole kind of thing lately, and it's just, it's never been my style. You can get your point across with a smile and a sarcastic statement to somebody that proves, gets to the point.
Yeah.
Again, let's just not do it that way.
Yeah, let's be civil about it.
Anyway, what's the Static-X thing? They're coming up to a play in Buffalo here.
Oh yeah,
that's been a couple of things that's been on my radar, and a couple
Project
offers in on this.
Yeah.
I think, do we say, does everybody know who's singing for the band?
I don't.
Really?
Is it the same guy?
It's Etzel Dope. Dope has been on every. So I apologize if I'm giving anything away.
Yeah.
I didn't book the show, so I ain't gonna have an angry phone call from an agent or anything.
Not
but
this guy.
And from what I've seen, I mean, the shows look packed. They look great. The production is great. There's a lot of visuals going on.
Yeah.
Dope is opening. It's Static-X. A person keeping that band alive. I'm 100% in.
Yeah, all about it.
And it's Buffalo River Works.
I think so.
I want to say, is it in February?
It might be.
Anyway, so if you're a fan of Static-X, Dope, and you've been wanting to see this, a lot of people miss this stuff, dude, as much as we all are integrated with, Instagram and Facebook and whatever. So that Static-X Project Generation, is that for the tour? Whatever. It's coming to Buffalo.
2-volume vinyl.
It's coming to Buffalo in the weeks ahead. So if you didn't know about it,
The thing about that, what you just said is, you can miss these things. You know why you miss them is because of the algorithms. If you don't ever search up Static-X, you probably won't see anything Static-X, which I haven't followed them in years, so I haven't seen this. This is my first time seeing it. Algorithms are huge on social media. I mean, Randy, you know all about that.
Well, yeah.
It's a battle.
I know all about that. It's increasingly difficult to get, stuff done in an efficient way sometimes. They want you to throw tons of dollars at a sponsored ad that you don't really know is getting you anywhere. And, these conversations don't take place all the time in my office with a tour manager or a band guy saying, don't do this, and you're wasting your money spending it on that, and do this. And it's like, oh my God, my head's spinning, So that's, and that's another thing.
Yeah.
Again, for the 6 or 7 people that are watching this, hopefully it's more than that
I hope
at some
so.
point. That was a joke.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Yes.
But and I constantly say this too, and again, these little things as we delve into this, and I guess this is doing a better job of what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Because we're detouring off on conversations that probably have something to be had. And hopefully this frickin' thing is recorded, because we've had our issues with that. But anyway, if you're out there and you're on Facebook and you're a person that goes to shows, whether it's Riverworks, Rec Room, Montage, Photo City, wherever, and you see their stuff on Facebook, comment, share, like. I don't think people know that when you interact or engage in somebody's post, we promoters, we talent buyers, we live music venues, town ballroom, I'm sorry if I'm missing anybody, you interact with that post. Because when you do that, you become part of our team of trying to advertise these shows.
Yeah.
And, we both know that over and over again, a day after a show, there'll be something posted, and it happens here all the time, and it was like, oh, I didn't hear about it.
Yeah.
There's like highlights or photos or whatever, and it's like, well, if you engage in that post gets engagement and it gets traction.
Yeah.
If you comment, same thing. If you hit like, same thing. If you say that you're going to attend, same thing. And by all means, share it. So if we have it shareable, the more that you share it, the more engagement that happens. So by virtue of you just doing that, if I do that, maybe he sees it, or 20 other people see it that don't.
Yeah.
That makes every show better, maybe the attendance bigger. all of the promoters and talent buyers that throw our hard-earned money, pulling the lever, hoping that that show is going to pay off.
Yeah.
That money that we dropped on that show to bring that band to your city, you engaging on that post helps.
It's 100% free, and it
Yep.
helps everybody out that's involved. The reach you can get just by reacting, commenting,
Yep.
sharing, all the above, and following and subscribing, I'm telling you right now, it helps more than you ever thought.
So, and it's the same thing with what we're doing.
Yes.
If you're watching this, repost it, share it, so that other people will go and subscribe, because the only way that this channel is going to grow is if people subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. And then, you know, we'll be talking to Edsel Dope. We'll be talking to the dudes in Static-X.
Yeah.
Every band that comes to town, that is our goal,
That's the
is
goal.
to try to get them on this podcast, whether it's a Zoom-y type thing or it's sitting next to us here. That's what we want this to be.
That's exactly what I want this
So,
to be.
anyway, all right, let's scroll. Oh, what's this? Oh, somebody reveals hearts. Oh, joining the Lamb of God.
Lamb of God.
Yeah, they've switched members quite a few times.
Oh, yeah.
2 or 3 lately in the
think
last few
so.
years.
Yeah, Art Cruz reveals
drummer?
the hardest part about joining Lamb of... Well, what's the hardest part? Partying even harder?
Click on that. We'll see. What does he say is the hardest part? Learning the drum fills?
Let's see. So, you know, we have all kinds of different things here. 2018, Cruz, who previously experienced includes...
Wins the plague and
stints with
prong, which
and-
means he's probably been in this venue at some point.
Oh, probably.
Okay, so asked whether technical drum parts are dealing with the opinions of fans were amongst the biggest difficulties in joining the band. Cruz admits it's a combination of both. I was so confident with my playing, and not in an egotistical way. I was just very confident with where I was on my skill level, he continues, citing his extensive professional resume as a road warrior.
Wow. So, yeah, I mean, I guess...
I had been touring for a long time in the trenches, from local bands to selling merch for bands to being a driver to just being one of the guys, the let me help kind of thing, and playing in bands. But it was really that, playing 35 years, I was confident enough in my playing. It was a challenge for the fans. It's a big deal. And as that goes for anybody, Cruz says, citing big time lineup changes with Metallica when they recruited Jason Newsted. Okay, yeah, I mean, yeah, I get it. You know, anytime that there's a big band loses one of their players that's been with them for a while, there's a little skepticism about the new guy that's jumping in.
Yeah.
But you
Is
know
he going to
what?
fill the shoes type thing?
Yeah, I mean, look, that bullshit goes on for a few months. You go out on tour with the band. The band's great live. They've always been great live. They'll be great, great live with whoever. I mean,
Yeah.
absent of Randy, you know, I don't know. You're going to replace him and be a.
Yeah.
I don't know. You could do that, but
Probably
well, good
not.
luck, bro. That's all we could say.
I mean, you know, I always notice that, and I think that happens a lot with singers too, is if you change a vocalist or something like that, you're going to notice there's a difference, obviously. There's a
Yep.
different sound. And some people can't maybe sound like anywhere near the beginning, the first vocalist, which, you know, that's not the aim. I think
Right.
you should have your own sound.
Which, on that topic, shout out to Jay Caley, new singer of Until I Wake. Props. Good luck, bro.
Yeah?
Great band. Trying to think just off the top of my head what else has been going on lately in the music news world.
There's a lot of different things that I think...
A lot of shows being announced for the summer.
The summer is always a huge season for music.
You know, and I wonder why so many shows are now, especially in the metal world genre, heading to the amphitheater in Syracuse versus Darien Lake. I know a lot of people don't like Darien Lake, and I can't imagine it's like a neighbor problem that, you know, there's too much trouble at the metal shows, because I don't think that's the case.
Yeah.
I think it seems like they have more issues at the country shows out in the parking lot and the tailgating and stuff than they do at the rock shows. You know, I wish some of these festival things would come back, the Warped Tours and the Mayhem
Bonsais.
and all that. Yeah, all that good stuff.
I do remember going to like Warped Tour for the only time in my life. I think it was 2015, and I think it was one of the last ones they did, if not the last. No, it couldn't have been the last one. No, it wasn't the last one. But anyways, you know, it's in the middle of summer. It's hot out. You're sweating.
Yeah.
The music is everywhere, and also you got to choose which band you're gonna watch, because if your two favorite bands are playing, you either watch this one or that one.
Yeah.
That was a wild concept to me.
Yeah, I indulged in that. My daughter wanted to go, so we started. Oh God, I don't even know how old she was. I want to say 14. She'd correct me, and we did it for like 4 or 5 years in a row until she outgrew me going with her or taking her, I guess you could say. So it was great, but they were tough days, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it was either hot as F. Or there was one year it was like a torrential downpour all day.
Yeah.
So it was like the Woodstock mud, the year that the fucking rain.
Was it 99?
Yeah, whatever. It was like that,
Whole documentary about that too.
Yeah, it was just a mud fest down. Like, you'd go on the lawn and for Warped Tour. I mean, if you were there, you know. But like the whole fence that's kind of at the very top of the lawn, if you're there for just a general concert, they open that whole fence up.
Yeah.
And then you could go down that hill and there's like more stages there. Well, that was like a slip and slide. Like by the time 2 or 3 in the afternoon hit, people would there was so much mud. You either made it down walking, you fell because you slipped and fell, or people just started to like slide on their ass and go down it. And it was,
It's like that one, what is that, Tough Mudder or something like that? There's it's like an obstacle thing you have to go through and you run it or whatever. It's almost like that, but in the music world.
Yeah, it's just, it's.
How long can you last in this festival?
It sucks that those things are no longer around.
And I don't know if that happened just recently or if it was during COVID that happened. I don't know. I feel like it did kind of go away the last four years.
What's that like? Metallica fans name what they most like and like. Come on.
I know.
At this point, who cares?
What'd you think about Saint Anger? What'd you think about that album?
I think that everything they've done has had something good on it. Their albums are like everything else these days. Like for bands that are still putting out new music, there's some stuff on it that's like and then there's a couple songs that are
Yeah.
So I don't know. They've had their, they've changed their, when they cut their hair, and you're younger than me by stretch, but that was a whole freaking thing in like 97, 98. Everybody was like shorter hair and whatever. That was like people pissed. Load and Reload weren't albums that people really liked. I liked them both.
Yeah.
I've always been I wasn't always a Metallica fan. I mean, they had a huge fan base long before I sort of caught on to them, but I mean, my God, you want to talk about a fucking monster band at this point. Holy shit. And that's one of those things, bro, where, I rarely would catch myself saying this, like, if you would have told me then, or if you would have told me in 88 that Metallica would have been this band that's doing stadiums and selling out 2 nights and whatever, I would have never guessed that the band, because, some bands, their fan base, pretty much stays the same age group, follows them or whatever. And I mean, you can go see Iron Maiden now or Priest and you see younger kids there and fathers bringing their kids. But I mean, Metallica, we're talking fucking stadium. We're not talking about like, an arena where, okay, I see a bunch of, younger kids now getting into the music that their parents like. So for a band like Metallica that was, the top of the thrash metal band, in the 80s, and then, their music changed a bunch in the 90s and 2000s, but not a band I would ever think like got to where they would have a mass appeal to be able to play stadiums and multiple nights and overseas playing stadiums and multiple nights.
Pretty wild.
I just wouldn't think that band would have that mass appeal that they have.
But they do. They do.
And they crush it live.
I've yet to see Metallica live, and if I ever do, I'd love to see them crush it live.
Marty Friedman. You know Marty Friedman?
No.
He was with Megadeth for a while. Really good.
Another band I didn't follow too much of.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's out on tour doing a week or so's worth of dates with John 5. John 5 coming up here February 17th.
Yeah,
Get your tickets, dude. There's like literally a handful of tickets left for that show.
We're going to go quick.
Marty Friedman's on a bunch of those dates. Phenomenal guy. Lives in Japan, where guitar is like, the Steve Vais and Marty Friedman's. I mean, it's like, and Mustaine, like over there.
Yeah. Leaps and bounds.
Leaps and bounds from what, like, I mean, Marty Friedman doesn't sell tickets or sell albums over here.
Yeah.
He's huge in Japan, so he lives there because that's where he plays all the time.
Yeah, Japan's got a whole different, I mean, it's crazy over there.
Rob Zombie just announced
Blasco and replacement
new
for
tour.
PvD.
and that's pretty good. Zombie, Alice Cooper,
Yeah.
Obituary, and Filter.
Filter, yeah.
Yeah. So that's, I like that lineup. That's Syracuse.
Yeah, Syracuse. I remember when Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson did a tour together, and I guess that was a shit show.
Yeah.
It was a very bad pairing, I guess.
Me and the daughter went to that. I mean, it was what it was. I've
was
seen
what it
Manson a
was.
bunch of times.
Yeah. He wasn't at his best, though, in that tour, was he?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think the date that we saw, it was Darien Lake, I think.
Yeah.
He did his thing. I mean, he kind of seems like he's kind of just going through the motions at this point. He's not
That's what I
where he
heard.
was decades ago, but I don't know. I remember me and my daughter just sitting there going, like saying that. I don't know. I mean, he's not hammered. He's not drunk. He's getting it done. I mean,
He knew
whatever.
he was supposed to.
I mean, if you were a fan of that guy when, in his early part of his career, he's not that guy anymore.
No.
So you're not going to get that, again, he wasn't out there to my, he didn't seem sloppy drunk or whatever. So he played the songs sounded like they did before, but he just doesn't have that mystique, that he had back then, dude, where he was like slicing himself and had the long hair and was skin, that he was like, he was the king of that shit, man, when he came out. It just, that kind of stuff, it's not sustainable.
No, I mean, that was huge in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you do that now, it's not.
And I was a big bootleg guy, still am, live music videos, and I collected a lot of his shit, dude. When he first started out and was doing his thing in clubs and stuff, dude, he was like, there was no one like him.
Yeah.
He was amazing. So, I don't know. The guy's got to make money. Leave him alone. If he's coming out and doing a tour or whatever, he's not what he was, but, he's got a mortgage.
Yeah.
If you like his music and whatever, just go see it for what it is now.
He's got food to put on the table.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta help him out.
Yeah.
Wow, let's see here.
There's not a lot much that's like seems some of this music news seems a bit dated on this particular website. We're on Loudwire,
Good old Loudwire.
but I think we've chimed in enough to make it somewhat interesting for what's not so interesting there.
Yeah, I mean, the music world, I mean, it changes within days, it changes within weeks.
Yeah.
So, one band might be doing good, something good now, but then they might break up with a band member here. And, you never
Yeah, and I
know.
don't think there's been anything, relatively dramatic in the last few weeks that's, and thank God we're not here talking about another somebody that's passed away.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that. That's one of those ones that I'm already dreading because, when that happens.
Well, and I'll tell you
Huge.
what, I mean, we had a better than normal January.
Yeah.
It seems like the last few years that January is just that, you break into a new year
Yeah.
and it's like this guy died and that guy died. And, I'm sure if we were to look, there's probably been a couple, but it's not like it's been in past years where Jesus Christ seems like
Yeah.
one after another in the first month of the year. It's like people are just dropping like flies.
I know, especially in the music world. It's kind of astounding that we didn't hear anything crazy like that this year, but that's a good thing. We don't want to.
Right.
We don't want to hear that.
So the one thing I can say to stay tuned for, I did get some new PR connections for Armored Saint. So I'm hoping that you and I will have a discussion about that.
Oh, yeah.
Armored Saint, that's coming up in May 2nd. So it's down the road a little bit. And we're trying to get an interview with some of the guys in that band. And that also is a show that if you are planning on going, there's like 100 tickets left.
Yeah.
I think like 120 something. That came out of the gate hard.
Yeah.
Like 150 tickets in like the first 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
So Armored Saint, yeah, that might be one of the first things that we actually get accomplished here in terms of getting somebody from the touring bands that are coming to town, get an interview going. And again, if you want to see that show, I wouldn't wait on buying tickets for that.
No, God, no, don't wait.
But anyways, dude, how long you think we've been yapping?
I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. I think I know we've definitely gone over 15 minutes. It's probably our longest episode yet.
Good. Well, I monopolized poor M-Balm's first hour here, dude, helping me do a couple of cool things that you'll probably see footage of this weekend. I don't know. I got some cool little video today. I may post it later today.
You might post it today.
Show them what's going on. I
Give
mean,
'em
it's
a little-
nothing. Look,
Give them a little sneak peek.
we're not fucking changing the world with this. You know,
But it's changing the montage.
it's not a wheel. It's not running water.
No, but it's new here.
But it's cool here. Yeah.
Yes.
We did an upgrade, and I think it's going to be cool in a lot of different ways. Other places have done it. So again, we're not fucking inventing the wheel
Inventing
here
the
with
wheel.
what it is, but I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. And I think it'll be a nice addition downstairs to the room. So he helped me out with that for a little bit. And again, maybe we'll throw that up a little later today on the heels of this episode or something. I'll throw some video up and actually throw it up on YouTube, and it'll be a short. And the other thing is, I don't know if you've noticed, probably some have, some haven't. M-Balm's put up some new programming from up here with a couple of bands from over the past weekend.
Yes.
And we're discussing getting him a little spot over here down the road a little bit and getting him his own little place, because he's going to start doing after show interviews up here with some of the local bands.
Rock hard, unplugged, and unfiltered.
Yeah. What's next? So we've got a Britney Spears, Taylor Swift night Friday.
Friday, yep.
Then we've got Silent Disco Saturday.
That's Saturday.
Just trying to think what would be the next thing that you're up here for.
Well, there is a show in March with Perspectives, Prawn.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be a show. Expect us, the M-Balm Effect crew, to be there, because that's where we're going to host some more of these post-set interviews on Rock Hard, Unplugged, and Unfiltered.
And you know, like I said, that's content that's mainly going to be on our sister channel, M-Balm's thing, the M-Balm Effect, and then, you know, I'll probably be doing like some highlight reels and whatever from that show, because that's going to be packed. That's a great, you know, few bands that I think haven't played the room a lot, so that's kind of cool too. So we'll do some highlight reels and capture a bunch of that stuff for this channel. He'll probably be upstairs for his channel. We're going to get him set up. I don't know if we'll do it today, but there's more, you know,
There's so much space.
Yeah, there's a good amount of space. And again, if you want to start a podcast and you haven't, I'll tell you the one thing I would really like to get. And again, if we get anybody that watches this, I'd love a dude or two to start like a sports podcast.
Cool. Yeah.
So we got a space for you.
Got space.
So if you're a guy and got a buddy and you want to do a podcast, you got a podcast, you want a place to throw it up, do it from, that's you can kind of like design and make your own. There's cubicle space over here. But if you're somebody that's into sports, basketball, football, you know, not, you know, multi-dimensional, and you know a lot about it or whatever, I'd love to have a sports channel part of the network.
Yeah.
Because we can do all the music in the world. That's not what I want to center on. I want to have the channel, you know, or the network have multiple channels of diversity.
Be broad.
And one thing that you and I talked about that we may start doing is going out and about too and doing some like live remote podcasts. There's a lot going on in the city of Rochester. I was telling them,
Someone's out there racing.
what the fuck? I picked up the city newspaper, which God bless that there's still a hard copy of something. You know, I didn't really know that.
Really?
Yeah, that was even still around. And I think I'm going to contact them tomorrow and see if we can get a little container or whatever, the thing that they're in. Yeah, Record Archive has them, so that's still out and about.
Yeah.
And I love looking at that thing. And, you know, like we were talking about, like there's a bunch of fucking entrepreneurs in Rochester, man. Just, you know, young people your age starting businesses.
Yeah.
And I'd love to go out and talk to them about that. And that's another way to grow this channel or whatever. Like, again, it doesn't have to all be about music. So that might be something that we're doing. But anyway, subscribe,
follow, share.
Facebook, Instagram, share, like, say you're going, just engage with everything, man.
Yeah, please.
But yeah,
subscribe.
but we want, I mean, if you're watching, you're already watching.
You already watch.
But we need you to tell other people, and we need you to, on Facebook, and all of us promoters and talent buyers and live music venues, share what we're posting, because, you know, this is what we're doing for a living, and there's a lot of us doing it, so there's a lot to wade through, and we need you to know, you know, we need everybody to know what we're doing, because, you know, I'll touch on this too, that some shows that you see get canceled, that you've bought tickets for, more often than not, it's because ticket sales aren't good. So you sharing the show, if you want to go to the show, share it. If you're going to the show, share it, because that helps us increase ticket sales. It gets it out there to maybe people that aren't seeing it. You know, and it's not always an easy decision for any venue, any promoter to have to cancel a show. It's not easy. It's not a great thing to do. It's not a great look. None of us want to do it. The band doesn't like it. I mean, it's usually a collective decision, but it could be, you know, it might not happen if you all feel that, you know, what I'm saying is you've got more of a stake in this game than you probably know you do.
Absolutely.
You know, you can be the conduit to some of these shows doing better than expected at any music venue in the city. And that goes for local shows too. Anything.
Oh, yeah.
Comedy at the Carlson. If you're going to a show and you see his post about him, you know, share it, man. He wants ticket sales.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, we all want sold out shows. And we can't do that without you, the concert goer. The comedy goer, you know, whatever. So peace out, man.
Hey,
we'll see you on the next one. Probably next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
Tune in.